Cynthia Rainey present.
Megan Carroll present.
Okay, so we are convening.
And then we have who else here that we do with us?
Christina Kendrick on that liaison for DOA.
Councilman.
Harlan Reed, past chair emeritus, now ordinary person.
Three events today. Looking at FinCom information meetings. And Jason Bond.
Actually, something pretty different.
Two is it shares. Discuss the topics for today's. Timeline, some pieces.
Make it December 21. So this year you should get almost one.
And between now and then, there's going to be significant remaining to do, but Sue has mentioned in it's mostly internal work at this point. Most of the public facing work was done with the focus groups and now the online survey. The online survey is open until the 9th. Oh.
But if you'd like, I talked to Sue for a while yesterday. I can leave her messages, or I can wait.
Well, yeah, we're going to discuss the whole timeline.
She wanted to extend She was hoping that extending the survey would have the effect of being able to push out a, hey, 2 more weeks, act now, we have a final chance.
Mhm.
So, and remember, you don't have to have a Comcast service to do the survey. That's important because some people think, well, I don't have Comcast. It specifically asks if you have Comcast, and if you don't, it'll direct questions.
June 23rd.
June 23rd.
It'll be very useful if everybody can really try to make contacts within their own friends to sign up. Like I'll raise it again with the housing authority. And they have their own email system for all contracts. It doesn't necessarily get feedback. Constant contact. Count for
The town, so various departments within the town do, but there isn't like the town has one. We use the from the town itself, but like the light plan, for instance, use constant contact, and some other departments within the town might use that to let their subscribers. Town itself just uses using this. Stevie, so yeah, we've done that already. That did generate for about 10 days. She said she saw a huge number coming in.
Yeah.
And that's how we got to kind of where we are. And we're going to do it again, just to remind people and also sort of just change the message a little bit, remind people we don't have to it's currently and explain, just to use different language.
Original, this went out a long time ago.
Exactly. So yeah, we will, I'm working with Donna to create another key.
Okay, so, I think what I'd like to do is, on the minutes, I'm proposing we defer the minutes for last meeting and this meeting until our next meeting. And, some discussions with Megan, but I haven't had a chance to go over. A little bit late. I think considering that some committees that I know, ultimately get the minutes in, but getting them in 6 months at a time. So, at least hopefully in September. And then updates.
And I'll start with some and then I'll mention more some comments. So Matt and Tori are here. I'm glad we have an opportunity to express our appreciation for the work they do. Really the ones that create all the content. Helping us use, so I appreciate the hard work. We have a lot of events. Stay tuned. um, we are working an update on hiring, so we are having positions and we'll sort of stuff moves around. Asking HR to approve the hire of 3 videographers. We interviewed first and second round from students. HR in town right now, so I think the survey was your biggest concern, and I mentioned how we're going to extend that, give us some more time. She also wanted to really solidify the parties who would be negotiating. I had talked to the town manager about this, and we had discussed this briefly at the previous meeting, I think, before the meeting was called to order, but I did send an email to Carrie, the town manager, just to confirm her desire for who she would like to be. So she's out today, tomorrow, but she'll be back. Sue would like to sit down with that group of people and start getting them up to speed with sort of what's, what we can expect and what we need to do to prepare to have the strongest case. We do have a new representative of Comcast who will be negotiating with the town. Gregory Franks is out with the town with Comcast. I'll tell you what I'm but so Sue is eager to be ready so that, because we don't want, we know it's gonna be a long process, so we know that Carlisle's process has been very, so we don't want the delays to be on our side, so if we can get ready at the time. So she forgot to pencil, so she, it was really okay. She and Randy are still working on the final report, and the survey will go into that. So I can't tell them, but they've been synthesizing the comments from the forums and getting information. Yeah. I think just the majority will be. So as you mentioned, Vince, the next phase doesn't really involve the public as much, doesn't really involve the committee, but I'm committed to make sure you guys are up to speed where we are. Sure. Everything that happens. Sue will probably still come to some, if not all of our meetings, just to get stuff.
So we're gonna send out another news and notice system saying, oh, so you're so lucky, you have another 2 weeks.
And remind you of the
Oh. Yeah.
Well, that's right, we should mention that prominently.
Yeah.
What is the language? I mean, what's the pitch? What's the later pitch? I mean,
So, well, I'll just tell you the background on the pitch, but the background is that the forums were an in-depth way to have a conversation about what people are interested in, what their needs are. And it goes very deep, but is a small number of people. The survey is supposed to be the opposite. It's supposed to reach a very wide audience, but not get as deep. But it will give us some metrics to understand who's using the channels in what way and in what ways they're not happy with it, so that it's not just like 3 people on the forum said they didn't like something, so now we're arguing to fix that. It's more like, well, several hundred people in the community were difficult to follow the channels. We'll have surveys. People to get sites.
Okay, that's a real question. I was just, I knew we were getting evidence, but I wasn't. Sure. So they were just coming to complain about Comcast in a way, or?
Well, yeah, I think that there's a lot of technology related issues that
Okay.
Concordians are concerned about and
Okay.
engaged with, and so they all are connected in a way, because some people get their TV content through broadband,
Okay.
and some people get it through 5G. So
Oh,
people are just voicing their concerns about cellular coverage.
everything is, it's always connected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
so it's connected. Yeah. Okay. Got it. So the pitch is just, what would you like to see from your local?
Yeah, and I mean, depending on how many of the things you say you engage with, 2 minutes or can be about 5 minutes, depending on, because if you say, I watch every channel and I'm a Comcast subscriber, you might get more questions. If you say, I'm not a Comcast subscriber and I only watch government stuff, then you'll have fewer questions. But it just asks you, what types of things are you watching? And how often are you watching them? And in what media are you consuming?
Questions on, your recruiting in the video. What is kind of the profile, the videographers that you're looking for?
Well, we're looking for people who are dynamic and excited about producing content, local government. They are interested in the things that they're working on and covering. We don't want it to be a chore for people, and we don't want it to be, you know, they would much rather be, you know, on a movie set somewhere, you know, and because like there's a place for creativity in the process, and then there's a time where you need to get the audience. So the type of people that we found that got really engaged and we're excited to bring in are those people that have some PEG experience. They've either volunteered at or worked at other PEG centers because they like the atmosphere, how hands-on it is, how they and they might be interested in covering. It's always a bonus for those last things. Today, tomorrow, for a week, just popped up for an event that World Society. So, but I think all three of them have that we're interested in have positions that really well to understand what we do here, because I think some people, we saw some resumes, production assistant on HBO TV show for 4 years, and you know, associate producer of a short film series or so. And those people may be qualified to be a videographer. They're probably not interested in participating in the whole of PEG, which is education, you know, helping people learn skills and you know, producing content for channels. So we did find, we were very lucky to find a lot of people on that. So it was a really strong group.
Well, because of all, most of these people also working someplace else.
Yeah, so I'd say of the people that we interviewed initially, it was like 75% of them had some other job. The others were looking for this to augment something they were trying to go for. So it usually is a part-time job in addition to the job people have. Some people do freelance videography, have their own kind of production business, and they just want this to be sort of regular work in case things get right. But it is nice because it's flexible on both ends. You know, if people need to travel or go on vacation, they can pick it out, and that's okay. We'll get other people to work that work. But it, you know, same way, we have a lot of different types of events. We're working on an electronic way to push out notifications when there's shifts available. Right now, historically, it's been like all the locations we film in have been so specialized that we had to know, okay, we can really only ask this one person to cover this place because they're qualified and they can train. So we're trying to level that so that everybody knows every location, and it's more of like a first come, first serve. We push out a new job or a new meeting, and then they can say, I accept this, and then it defines them. It's a lot of track schedule. It's not a phone call.
One of the reasons I was asking is because, of course, there was say after cyclone. Megan and I were just talking. So I was wondering, there's a lot of people that were just looking for some kind of big work that the union would like to do. I'm not sure what union was.
That's a good question. It was posted before the strike began, and I'd say most of our applicants came in before. At least I heard that it. So I don't think that. Well, after the meeting, they'll rewrite what was said and then ask everybody.
That's funny.
And in the meantime, I'll be nice.
Oh, God.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay.
Back to. So at this point, the composition and the structure of the negotiating team is pretty much left up to the town manager. But, and
Yeah. I mean, they all have.
right, so we don't really have a role in that. We're just getting to the point where we don't need to meet, accept or vote on it, or
That's a good point.
I don't think so.
I don't think you need to.
Yeah.
But I think that we did talk about last time, there may be a need for executive session to prove, strategy. Might be some. Sure, town manager eager to be back. Sue has definitely asked for as few people as possible to keep the number down. But, yeah,
What kind of like stakeholders does she want on it?
so the feedback I got from her was somebody from the town manager's office who has authority to represent. Potentially somebody from the select board, and maybe. And then, so that was who Sue was kind of thinking, but I did ask Carrie to confirm what she wanted. I think she was leaning toward designating our deputy town manager, as town manager's office person. So I'm just waiting to hear what the thoughts.
Have they shifted anything to her portfolio yet? Like, or is that for you?
No.
So it's you,
Yeah.
and you report directly to Carrie. Then what, and then I don't know the date report.
According to Sue, once the findings, or once the survey is closed, then senior partner will start the process of findings.
Okay.
And I believe, and Carlin, correct me if I'm saying something. She would be drafting that later in the summer, which I assume is part of July, August. And have some kind of draft available for review in September.
For us to.
Yes, and also for other members of the town on a predetermined schedule. No, scheduling sometime in September for the rest of the town.
And then what, the negotiations would start now earlier than.
You said no.
Well, December, December is when Comcast will send its formal proposal. The negotiations with Comcast will probably start right after that. Okay. But as Vince said very accurately, we should have
And how much of the information that will help guide the negotiations would actually be there?
him so that he can be the focal point for. Oh, did you ever think about this? Did you think about that? Just more perspectives. Yeah, in fact, he's able to support his role as.
That will help us construct a meeting schedule that will be the deliverable that seems important to do the whole process.
And you'll have a couple other things to do, I might suspect, in addition to this franchise. You'll have to figure out.
Set that out and budget and everything like that. So we can sort of flow we don't yet have a calendar for annual town meeting yet. No, okay. But that comes usually for the annual town meeting calendar.
FinCom already has a calendar.
They do.
I'm judging April 28th as being the date of town meeting, and I've got the 12 months.
Well, we are, it's a public meeting, but you're welcome to take a seat.
That's it. Okay. That would help you. Reading.
Question. A little bit on topic, thinking about some of the items of question.
Mhm.
That has to do partly with low income people. Also, I understand, this is in the last year's breakfast, that the high school is going to have 10 of us. Exciting.
It's a proposal. Idea.
What is the process for?
That's what we don't do yet.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Because that, addresses part of an issue, which
We don't
Okay,
address
motion.
the issue for town council.
part of
Not part of it.
if the antennas fall.
So it's the proposal that it's gonna be placed way back behind the,
Yes,
so it'll be good if you're driving by Route 2 or.
yes. I think that was the main assumption, that the access to Route 2, which gives them good coverage.
I know Verizon is pursuing a site near the school and or landfill or anywhere over here. And also, Doug, they're
Correct.
not, it's not one of them.
Well, no. But, well, they need one.
Yes, and then everybody else has to jump.
Do you know what? In terms of.
It was said publicly that there was an offer of 60,000. That's all I can say. That's what was also said, this is their offer.
I can tell you that the town contracts, which are public, for several hours.
Source of revenue.
Marijuana and
What committee works on that?
which one?
The towers.
So for the, because the region,
Yeah.
this is a municipality, it's a regional high school.
Okay.
So they do their own, we do our own thing.
Oh.
The rest of the town is town of Concord. So, but there's still bylaws and things like that that the region needs to live by because they are in the town of Concord. So we would have to get, it's too close to the school. So they would have to get a CBA.
What is it, the
Zoning board
Oh,
of
right.
appeals variance, yeah. Which they often do grant. Nothing's easy. Nothing that's important is easy. So yeah, so stay tuned, we'll discuss it and we'll discuss it and we'll discuss it.
Okay, let's see, no liaison reports and public comments. Do we have anybody?
I'm sure there's a lot. Relevant.
There were a couple things that came up about the accessibility. The audio. equipment. I think that schedule kind of proceeding parallel. So I think it's-
And I was gonna say, how much have we publicized the survey with the COA?
And I have it
Done, or was that considered expanding people? On
I
this?
think it was considered.
Okay, it's fine, if it's in a newsletter, that's great. You know,
And we only write currently, I don't know how many more. Right now, it's the.
that's great.
And it's been until Wednesday.
June 23rd.
So our last meeting before then would be the 20th, so it's 3 days before. But what was really helpful is I honestly, I did not know that. Yeah, I haven't been telling people that. Oh, because I didn't tell people that, and I have to make sure that the whole board. Yeah.
Email. But I was gonna go down to the townhouse to get a paper printout survey so I could fill it out.
Mhm.
Will you be able to put, on it, or where can I get a paper?
I mean, I think the library,
Out for me?
I don't know.
Oh,
Do you
I
know?
think-
Somebody will have to enter it.
The difficulty would be, how you answer the question, because some questions are there, depending on how.
Yeah.
So if you print it out, it might be 100 questions long, but it won't be clear to you which questions you're not supposed to answer or which ones should appear. And it might jump all over the place because it was designed to be dependent on the previous.
But I don't have an email. Can
You
I
don't
do it?
need that.
Can I do it on the tablet, do it and then just press send?
Yeah, you don't have to enter any of your. Concord.gov/cable TV. That's the easiest way to find it. Yeah.
One other question, what's the status of capital projects?
So Matt was just there yesterday, and somebody from the vendor. So as soon as we get them, Lori had reached out and offered to do whatever.
Getting,
Exactly, so we should have a quote.
oh, sorry, it's the, so at the building, called Ridley Building. So that's where we have our school committee meeting. There's a room. And it currently doesn't work too well. It's much better with those new mics.
Right, there were some upgrades done, and they thought that would make it. Fortunately, once all of the equipment was replaced, they realized that the cameras were just really bad. So if you hang them upside down, you can hang them almost. If you mount them sitting up, they can't go down. And so they should have hung them upside. Probably hung them. So two of them can only sit. So, yeah, and then it's not just that, the cameras themselves.
Yeah.
It wasn't just that. So we're getting quotes to replace that, because we originally had split school, we put some money in, some money in, and we bought other equipment.
Very
important. Read word out record.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, that's it.
One of the questions I had, again, this is on the low income and affordable connectivity. In the case of the student, are there families that in fact would benefit by participating in, bringing the contact? There's income limits, but actually the income limits are relatively high.
Mhm.
I think, for a four-person family, it's, close to $100,000 a year.
Mhm.
But, I'm wondering if it's come up that, families have had problems with, anything that's done relative to homework, or anything of that nature, where they have to use the internet.
I'm sure that nobody, most people in Concord, if that information is posted somewhere? Is it on the Concord? Where did it post it?
It is, yeah, it is on the
Okay.
context, so
I don't think we've ever
probably some.
disseminated that information to families here.
I'll send you some links.
Okay,
I use that, I'm low income, so I get we use the Comcast, whatever it's called. But
Internet Central.
yeah, except for the lowest tier is, you can't use it, so I just pay it at a discounted rate. So I pay about $60 for internet, which is pretty good for me. But yeah, the limit for a family of three is under 70.
that would be good. We should leave.
It's like junk.
Well, they've been gradually upgrading the system now, so if you get on the highest tier,
Mhm.
you're getting 100 down and I think it's 10 up. It's free.
And does the town have any?
Yeah, Concord Broadband is a member of the Affordable Connectivity Program and provides $30 a month discount off of any tier. So it's tier 49.
And so is that similar between the country? Government or federal subsidy? Oh, okay. So there's-
And that's only recently. Concord Broadband.
First.
Well, because it just, first load, like. First,
Okay. But yeah, I think that school definitely should promote that because there's no, these days, there's no education.
Well, and there's an advantage with town service, with the speed going up. Not only gaming, it's even like Zoom.
Yeah, that's.
We always hear people complaining about their having problems with Zoom meetings.
Did a comedy thing on when I had slower internet and just kept pausing. I was like, this is the most demoralizing thing that's ever.
Great, okay.
Okay, well, we are on to the main event here. Which is the.
Can I, meeting schedule? We
Yes, so,
tried to meet.
no. Yeah, so the, tradition, I don't know if it's a very long tradition, but it's a couple of years, is not having meetings in July and August. And, then resuming them in September. And then having, regular schedule through the end of the year. It's good. September, October, November, and December.
And do we usually pick like a third Thursday or what have we been doing?
We have, been doing the third Thursday. It's an issue for anybody.
I guess they're just asking,
Yeah.
if we can hit a first meeting. Labor Day is the 4th, correct?
Thursday. 21st.
I think we need to just think up with Stu and say, okay, we're going to be on September 21st and October 19th. Send out the proposed date. I think 3:30. I would vote for 3:30, but if people are voting in another direction, let me know.
Well, let's see, November is the 23rd.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving schedule. 16.
Yeah. I don't know, me. I don't know.
Oh, what day is on?
Yeah, next to last.
Next to the last, or last, what,
The 4th, 15th.
only sometimes people go away for month, at the last day of one call, on that Friday, they go out of town, that's Thursday.
Okay. What is the most important day, Monica? Oh, this Thursday. The first one.
And the second night.
Oh, yeah. Every,
Agreeable?
Kind of read it, right?
Is it ever possible to do it during school hours?
I work in
I think we do, yeah. There's a- Okay, oh, that's true.
Yes,
Oh, that's true. Okay. Okay, good.
I think we should keep that.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it as
As long as it's legal.
it's been extended a long time.
Yep, 2 years, I believe.
keep it legal.
Yes. 25.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So
Yes,
that's
we'll do
Yeah.
hybrid.
and starting around.
In your car.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, we don't keep it.
So what time?
Many things.
3:30. 3:30? It is on YouTube, but I don't think it's finished yet.
So it's not unusual, it's part of the meetings.
Yeah, so originally. Was the season after the town meeting?
Yeah, originally it was a promotional video for them.
Yeah, so we would air that just to remind people, that it's more than just government.
Yeah.
Stuff going on, so.
Yeah.
And then as a result of this, they worked on expanding that and showing some more.
Matt edited and it was pretty much clips from the year, so we had worked on a video for the visitor center and then also as a promo. Nice to do this for us.
Yeah.
Very nice. I don't know who you are. Oh, wonderful. Hi, Mary. I'm Tori. We spoke on the phone. Hello. Hi.
Library stuff.
A good amount of them, depending, since they are a corporation, typically they're paid, but they're so that's where they're, so we cover. We certainly.
Now. This is the third time we've done this whole awards program. The first time we had a plaque that we presented, and it was in the newspaper, it was a big splash, and the plaque is posted outside on the wall there, and it names of people who did programming, staff members and committee members. Kind of ratcheted down the last couple of years, and I don't know what you guys are gonna do next time, but we've got some certificates. How do you want to do this, Vince? Do you want to read the names I hand them to you, or what?
Why don't you read the names?
Okay,
and-
all right. So these are certificates of recognition. I'm going to start with him last because he's not here. I think there's one. Here's Matt Barron. This is a certificate of recognition, and there's a little gift along with it from Matt Barron. And I have this with this certificate acknowledging your achievement and contribution. And I have you as MMN as the senior producer, which I believe will be fairly soon, right? Congratulations. Thank you very much.
People will make it really. Right out. I can't do it.
Okay,
We still in session?
yeah. Well, no, it's not a good stuff. If somebody can,
I know, I would.
maybe that's the rest of the, maybe it comes in.
Get it all together when we're all done. Yeah, like that, yeah.
Okay.
For Courtney Wisnowski, and senior producer, thank you very much. Thank you. With the small token of our affection and appreciation. Thank you. For Mr. Jason Olson. This is a certificate of recognition. And actually, you get to read. We're not here, one is for Andre Cole, his recognition as a videographer. And then the other is for Arcady Barsteven, as his role as a videographer as well.
That's in your poll?
It is. If you want to do.
I have one. President. How long have you been here?
What you folks do next? Doing something with the. folks in the program. An idea. You'll have time, I think, to focus on
Some interest in soup.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that involved. I'm not sure where we are with that. That's kind of ramp that back. It's been a long road of not having that connection for a while, so probably.
You're letting the musical energy.
Definitely. I have that last block now. So, maybe something on a regular class. So I think it will be a new year. Should we adjourn a bit?
Why don't we do that? So, seeing that we're done with the agenda and public comments. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you very much.